Alright, BookTube, I'm back here with another video, and I woke up the morning that I'm actually shooting this video, and I was hit with this idea. And it's like almost like divine intervention idea. So it may not feel like that to you, but it did feel that way to me. So what I'm going to talk about in this video is a series of videos that I'm going to start, and it's going to be about my favorite books that would make great movies. That's coming up next. Okay, so the hardest part about this video, besides the fact that I was trying to narrow down which book that I wanted to start this particular series with, was not writing the idea down and then hoping that I did not actually forget the idea, because sometimes that does happen. As a writer, many times I'll come up with an idea in the middle of the night, literally in the middle of the night, 3 a.m. I'll come up with this great story idea, and I'm like, you know what, I'll just get to it in the morning when I wake up. Then I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I think I had an idea for a story last night, but it's not really coming to me anymore. So it's just kind of gone. And sometimes it just never comes back. Or it comes back, but maybe not quite as good as the way it was when I was thinking about it in the middle of the night or dreaming about it in the middle of the night. So that's one of the reasons why I usually like to write these ideas down when I get them. In this case, I did not. And I ended up being fortunate because I still remembered the idea come morning time, which was, what books have I read that I really like that I think would make good movies? At least good movies to me. Maybe not to you, but definitely to me. And so, the book that I decided to start out with is a book that I've talked about many times on this channel because it is one of my favorite books. It is a book that got me hooked on this author. It wasn't the first book I read by this author, but it was the book that got me hooked on this particular author, and that is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. Now, Riley Sager is coming out with a book this year that's already getting pretty high acclaim, so I'm excited about that Riley Sager book that's going to be dropping this summer. But that's in the future. For now, let's stick with The Last Time I Lied. So, this is one of the books that when I started reading it, I had probably, I would say, guarded expectations for it. I had read Final Girls, which I thought was pretty good. I didn't love it, but I thought it was pretty good. I was glad I read it. And then I started thinking about, do I want to continue reading Riley Sager books? And at the time, he had 2 more books. He had The Last Time I Lied, and he had Lock Every Door. So when I started looking at another Riley Sager book to read, I wasn't quite as excited about Lock Every Door at the time. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and try The Last Time I Lied. And since then, I've ended up reading the Riley Sager books in chronological order. So, but I am so glad I read this one next. If I had read Lock Every Door, I probably still would have continued reading Riley Sager, but I definitely was even more motivated to read Lock Every Door after reading The Last Time I Lied. So what is The Last Time I Lied? Let me refresh your memory. Okay. 2 truths and a lie. The girls played it all the time in their cabin at Camp Nightingale. Vivian, Natalie, Allison, and first-time camper Emma Davis, the youngest of the group. But the games ended the night Emma sleepily watched the others streak out of the cabin into the darkness. The last she, or anyone, saw of them was Vivian closing the cabin door behind her, hushing Emma with a finger pressed to her lips. Now a rising star in the New York art scene, Emma turns her past into paintings, massive canvases filled with dark leaves and gnarled branches that cover ghostly shapes in white dresses. When the printings catch the attention of Francesca Harris White, the wealthy owner of Camp Nightingale, she implores Emma to return to the newly reopened camp as a painting instructor. seeing an opportunity to find out what really happened to her friends all those years ago, Emma agrees. So, I'm a sucker for summer camp stories, closed circle tropes, so stories that happen on college campuses, stories that happen on prep school campuses, boarding schools, yada, yada, yada. A lot of people on BookTube make fun of me for it, but that's my thing. I like it. I can't help it. I'm always looking for it. Dark academia, I like that as well. I like this book because I like the characters. Now, some people had trouble with some things that happened in the story that for some people required a pretty significant suspension of disbelief. But I personally really enjoyed this story. I thought it was very entertaining. I thought the ending was, there was a twist at the end that you'll hear some people like, oh man, I saw that coming. Yeah, no, you didn't. Stop. I really enjoyed the twist at the end. It was very interesting. The most I'll give away is that it kind of set the stage potentially for a sequel, but then I saw Riley Sager say on Goodreads that he was not anticipating doing a sequel to this particular book. So, but it was really interesting. I liked the camp setting, and I started thinking about maybe like a Lifetime kind of a movie. It seemed like it would fit, what Lifetime does for a movie, maybe a Netflix type special. Hulu is doing specials now. So I'm not thinking necessarily like a major large motion picture hitting the theaters, but maybe like an Amazon Prime, Hulu, Netflix, Lifetime. I think this would make a really good one. I could see some really good actors, actresses playing some of these roles in this book, and I could really see it with the right script and the right direction. I could see this really coming alive and making a really interesting mystery type thriller story. And so I would really be excited to see a movie version of The Last Time I Lied. So I am excited to kick off this video series that I'm going to get going with The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager, a book that I would love to see as a film.